Our next little topic is acids. Acids can be a lot of fun, but they can be pretty darn dangerous. Now, when we look at acids, in order to recognize what type of acid we're working with, we really have to consider two ideas. We have to consider the fact that acids can be what we call binary acids, or acids can be oxyacids. There are two different types. Both are considered to be acids because they contain hydrogen. In the form of H+. So binary acids. When we look at binary acids, binary really means we're working with two different elements. So that word binary relates to two elements. Okay? So I think you've heard me use the term binary ionic compound. Well, binary acid is two elements. In this case, though, the first element always has to be hydrogen. There's always got to be hydrogen present. The second element will then be some other non-metal. That's what has to be present. So an example, one that we work with a lot in chemistry is this acid, HCl. HCl is called hydrochloric acid. To get the formula for something like this, we can use the same idea of charges. We can use the idea that the hydrogen has a +1, the chlorine has a -1. So because we're dealing with both of them being 1s, when we crisscross them down and follow our rules, we'll get HCl. But the naming becomes a little bit different. We don't call it hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is a gas. When you dissolve hydrogen chloride in water, that's when you actually create the acid. So when we write a formula for acid, not only will we put HCl, but we should also put in brackets AQ beside it. By putting AQ beside it, it tells us that that HCl is dissolved in water, and that's what creates the acid scenario. Now, to name these acids, when we see this, these binary acids always have the name hydrochloric acid. They will always have that name. The part that you fill in is the nonmetal. The nonmetal part. So that's where we got from the Cl. That's where that part of the name comes from. Let's try another example maybe. So if we take a look at another example then, let's say we have hydrogen creates an acid with, so it reacts with sulfur. So I'm going to have hydrogen, it's 1+ charge, sulfur, 2 negative. Do my crisscross rule, so the 1 comes down, the 2 comes down, I get H2S. Now if I left it like this, I'm not talking about an acid. I would be talking about hydrogen sulfide, or some people might use the Greek prefix method to name it and call it dihydrogen sulfide. But when I put AQ beside it, now we're talking about the acid. So H2S with the AQ beside, we're talking about the acid. This is called hydrosulfuric acid. Binary acids are always named this way. They are always named hydro something ic acid. Always. Those are two examples of binary acids. Always remember to include that AQ with the acid. So those are our binary acids.